accomplish a lot. Was it deliberate? Was it planned?
I don't think anybody can say that I planned anything. I mean, you could plan, but God has a way of it. But for me, I didn't plan anything. Not that I planned to. I was just a regular guy trying to live life, and then opportunity came, and here we are. So it's not. I'll be stupid to say I planned it. Okay. But it's just that you see that Yorubas need to bá mọ nírò amọ̀fẹ́dà. Because you ask yourself, how many gynecologists are in Nigeria? And then why did God allow some things to happen? Especially somebody like me, you understand? So I think it's just the grace of God that you are in a particular place at a particular time, and then it works out. And I think that's what has framed my way of life. I don't see that I've achieved anything not because I planned to do anything, not that I had a pedigree. My father, well, maybe my father was successful in his own time, but he died very early. So, so as you know, in Nigeria, anywhere in the world, when I was an orphan at 14, so people used to pray for me, and that's why I don't play with prayer. I remember when my father died, and people would say, ayé tí ẹṣin ò jẹ èròdí I'll never forget. And so after a while, when I started saying, okay, ṣé gbogbo àdúrà táwọn òbí yẹn gbà? Because sometimes you ask yourself, why you in life? But it is what it is.
Sorry, sir. I would like to ask from where you stopped. What was growing up like for you, having lost your dad at 14?
The funny thing was that, and that's one thing again that people, I also wait to ponder about. Okay, before I was 14, okay, my mother died when I was 9. But okay, my father was probably, let's say, he took the 2 roles to an extent. Of course, they married. But for me, I don't think I didn't so much miss that thing that my mother was not around. I didn't so much, well, maybe I was too young. But my father now died at 14, and I had to go and live with my uncle. But tell you what, seriously, except for maybe some few things, money was not an issue. Really, actually, it was not an issue. I don't know how, but money was just never an issue with me. When I was in university, when I tell people I'm an orphan, you walk, you are enjoying life, because money was never an issue, And so that was how I think my life was. God patterned my life. That at every point, anything I need will come up. And that's why, for me, God is so important. When I entered university at 17, and I remember, those days in Unila, between the gate and the main campus, you just stand there. There were not many buses. So, but you don't just wait people, they stop to take you. I mean, it was almost taken for granted that somebody will give you a ride. So, I took that ride one day, and the guy said, "Oh, how are you?" It was a Volkswagen. So I said, "Oh yeah, I'm a medical student. I just entered for so I'm a medical student." He said, "Why are you studying medicine?" And that was the first time anybody was asking, "Why am I studying medicine?" And you know what? I didn't have the answer. Why am I studying medicine? So that day, I also asked myself the question, and I saw that it was as if I could not study any other thing. That's the way my life was almost patterned. Because we were the first set of jam. So my first choice was medicine, second choice medicine, third choice medicine. And so that now took me back. Okay, why do you really study medicine? I still don't think I can answer that question till now properly. But it was as if there was nothing else for me to study. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's just like when I also became a gynecologist, or I was training to be a gynecologist, and somebody asked me the same question: Why do you want to be? Why? Okay, what else is that?
But what made you gravitate towards medicine and also gravitate towards
Gynecology.
gyne?
That's what I'm trying to say. Is as if my life had been patterned for me
Okay.
without my knowledge. Do you understand? Because the first day I was taught gynecology in school, I knew that's what I wanted to specialize in. I just knew this is what I'm going to specialize in. It's so bad that there was one person who we served together. Okay, she was my senior. She served 1 year before me, but we worked together in the same office while I was serving. So we didn't see for about 10 years. So somebody now said, I met somebody who knew the two of us and did not know that we know each other because we are not seen for about 10 years. And so he said, oh, I met a doctor today, Dr. Ajayi. He said, hey, which Dr. Ajayi? He said, is he a gynecologist? So he said, yes, he's a gynecologist. So when the person now told me, I took her phone number and I called her and I said, they said you said, am I a gynecologist? Why do you think I'll be a gynecologist? He said, look, all you spoke about as a copper was to be a gynecologist, so I knew. So I think that's how my life has always been patterned without my knowledge. So everything will just fall into place at the right time. How did I do IVF? I just knew the first day I heard about IVF that I was going to do IVF. I've never seen it before. So, and then I finished my OMG and I said I wanted to do IVF. I remember I went to apply for a scholarship. This time, allergy. And he said, Dr. Ajayi, infertility is not a problem in Nigeria. Anyway, so I was working in Laguna Hospital, and then one day I just got an email, and somebody wrote me an email. I'd never seen the person before. Are you interested in setting up an IVF clinic in Nigeria? It didn't take me 2 minutes to answer the mail. I think the way I answered the mail, the guy at the other end got it. He's talking to the right person. And so he replied me, the guy was the one who paid for me to travel to see IVF for the first time in my life. And for me, things, I just believe that whatever God says, He will do. So that's it.
That was how many years ago?
2001. Everything, immediately after that, everything just started happening. I came back 2003, we started Nordica, From seeing IVF for the first time in 2001, 2003, we started Nordica, because by then, I was working in Laguna. So I resigned my appointment because really, I wanted to do this with Laguna. I wanted to do it in Laguna. We just couldn't get head with that. So 2002, I left. 2003, we started.
Looking back at 18 years of Nordica, how does it make you feel?
Well, mixed feelings. Yes, we've done a bit, but I think also we could have done a lot more if the environment was a little bit more conducive. And we're still going to do more by God's will. We're going to open in March next month. We're going to open a fibroid care center, where we'll be doing fibroids without surgery. Not endoscopy surgery, without surgery at all.
That's all.
So the equipment we're going to use for that is in the port now. We're trying to clear it. So we've entered into partnership with these Chinese people who have the manufacturers of the machine. So we're going to, the Chinese are going to be here for about 3 months to train our own guys before they go back. So that also is just failing at just at the right time, not because it's I think my life has just been wonderful. One way or the other.
There's so much to talk about, but I quickly want to dwell more on this fibroid without surgery.
Yeah.
Is it the new finding, a new technology or a new development?
It's a one completely new development.
Okay.
It's called HIFU.
HIFU.
HIFU. HIFU. Yeah. High intensity focused ultrasound. So it's using ultrasound to burn up fibroids.
Focus on ultrasound.
Yeah. So yeah, it will be the first in this part of the world anyway. So hopefully it will be successful because it's been used in other parts of the world.
Okay.
It's in the UK, it's in China, it's in more in Korea, Singapore, all these Asian countries more than it's also in the US. There's some manufacturers in the US who are making the machine. Yeah, it's a little bit on the new side, but what I say sometimes is that Igbo people don't have two heads. Whatever they can have, I don't see why we cannot have it in Nigeria, except that we are just the ones who have done it. We have treated ourselves unfairly. So, and that's why I also believe that the future is with the private sector, because nobody invests his money and wants it. It's only government that can afford to do that. Because it's not nobody's money, but you cannot. I mean, look at you now. After 25 years, you are here conducting an interview. I mean, imagine that it's a government thing. Will you ever be here? No way. It's not going to happen. So that's the thing. So I believe also the health sector is just the private sector that they should. Government should make sure that they just give us, okay, what are the minimum standards? Set the tone for what everybody should put in place. If you don't put it in place, government comes after you. They have the police. Nobody else has. So, but when government wants to run business, they are not equipped to do that. So anyway, but
the issue of fibroids, how come it's very important for us in Nigeria?
Well, I think it's a black disease. It's not only Nigeria. So it's a black disease. Even blacks in the US have it more than the whites. So it's a black disease. It's supposed to be a genetic thing. But we have not identified the particular gene yet, but we know it's a genetic thing. It runs the families, but the particular gene has not been identified yet. There's a lot of work going on.
But how come it's also, like, one can say recent, or is it not recent? Is it something that
it's always been?
Oh, okay.
It's always been.
How can we hear more of it?
Our consciousness for healthcare, general health has improved. Whether you see women who are 60 now trying to look like they are 30, 40, or whatever, except when at 7 p.m. that's when they.
So, why is fibroid prominent among the blacks?
Well, it's really I said it's a genetic thing. It's transmitted in our genes, but we have the exact gene has not yet been identified. The moment you identify the gene, you can probably stop it from being transmitted at least twice a year. But right now, the gene has not been identified yet.
A quick one follow up to that. There is this impression that from personal experience, I've spoken with one or
Oh,
two people.
you must get that down.
I've spoken with one or two people, and they have fibroid. They have had surgery.
Hmm.
It keeps coming back.
Oh yeah, because the stimulant is still in the system.
Hmm.
And that's one of the problems that we have as Africans. We are blessed with very huge fibroids. And and because we still don't know what the stimulant is, so it keeps coming back even in the second person. After there are two ways that can happen. It's either the primary surgery, they left some things inside,
Hmm.
or it's a new growth. So most of the time it's difficult to differentiate. Those are the two ways that this happens.
Talking about infertility, at what stage are we now? Looking back at all that has been done to help.
I think really and truly until recently, maybe because also I'm involved, I think infertility management is one part of medicine that Nigeria has really made that we can beat our chest and say there are many clinics, some clinics who can offer you what you can get from Nigeria. So that for me, I think it's really a big plus because over the years, some clinics have really faced the problem, and especially when you don't have any other thing that you're doing apart from that particular thing, and they say practice makes perfect. So I think some people have just over time been able to crack the code as it were.
One can see that, like in your case, you've been at it for like 25 years, seeing patients almost on a daily basis, talking about that. What has that done to you in terms of helping you understand what to do, like you're saying now? As what has changed in your view?
Well, I guess the basic things to start with, because not only have I been doing this alone for quite a while, I've attended many conferences in almost every part of the world for infertility. Yesterday I was just going through, I saw a bag in my study, and what is this one? So I saw it was a conference. Oh, okay. Was this last year's conference? So I wanted to look at what was the conference. I saw it was 2011. So I said, oh, this is about 10 years ago. So, and that has opened my mind to so many things. To what are the things that are possible? And that's why sometimes some of the things that are new, we have to be at the forefront of introducing them. That has made us to also be able to partner with so many people in other parts of the world. Okay, what are you guys doing here now about this? So that don't forget that research is not one of our fortes in Nigeria. So we are probably one of the private hospitals that will publish over 50 papers on this clinic, because we think it's also there's a big gap that needs to be filled for us to be able to represent Nigeria in this space to start with, and then because people before they used to, when you say you're from Nigeria, they just look at you and say, in the first place, fertility in Nigeria. We thought your problem was overpopulation. What are you doing here? Some people will go, are you sure that actually people patronize you in Nigeria? I say, why do you say that? Oh, because we thought your problem is overpopulation. So yeah, it's but I think that is changing because Nigeria also even in that space occupying that space now. So yeah, that's why we can say there's some clinics that can hold up their own in the international space.
Maybe I should also ask this question, as you are not in Nigerian, just to ask you being a medical practitioner, how serious is the problem? This infertility problem in Nigeria?
It's a big problem. It's not, unfortunately, it's not only even in Nigeria. It's probably worldwide, you know, because we see now that male factor actually appears to be becoming more horrible. You know, even from Europe, there was a study that they said that in the last 40 years, sperm count has increased by about 50%. We did a study here looking at sperm count from 2004 to 2014, 10 years, and we saw a reduction of 30%. But why we're careful not to become alarmists is because we know that we're not dealing with a large society, we're dealing with only people who are presented to us. But of course, they're from the society as well. So we can give you a window into what is happening in the society. But definitely, sperm count is becoming an issue worldwide. And lifestyle factors are part of it. And our guys are not helping this at all. One problem that we still don't look at is recreational drugs. You know, there was a time they spoke about what is the name of this cough syrup in the north, that they had to deal with some companies making forgotten, you know. But here, the number of people that we see that are on marijuana or cocaine, it's becoming
These are recreational drugs.
drugs here. Okay, it's becoming alarming. I don't, and I don't know what we're going to do about it. It's because, you know, in our own days we used to call it Igbo. Igbo is not something good. Now they call it witch. So it's, I mean, just go on the street. I mean, there was a day I was driving and I was with my son. And so on Lekki, there was a small traffic. And in the traffic, one young man entered into this car. And he was having this. So I said, what's happening in traffic? And then about 2 minutes after, he came down. So my son said, that is just holding drugs. And that's the way it is now. So there are things that we need to be careful about. We are Americanizing ourselves, but at the same time, do we have the facilities to deal with the problems? That is the problem I ask people sometimes. If you want to become Americanized, be sure that you can also afford, because healthcare is almost taken for granted. We don't have that luxury. So we need to, but of course, it's affecting us, our fertility as well.
So what would you advise to young people who are just setting out and in terms of how to reduce the possibility of infertility?
Yeah, well, there's some things that are preventable, there's some things that are not preventable. Lifestyle factors are, fortunately, they are not only preventable, they are reversible factors most of the time. So lifestyle is something that you should pay attention to. Your weight, the age at which you get married, you need to start with. You know, especially for ladies. You can help it. And if you're a good partner, store your eggs, you know. Because now you see 38, 40. I see some people at 42, they say they want to come and store their eggs, and I say, okay, you know, because seriously, at that age, it's more difficult. You know, it's a decision you could have taken 10 years ago, and that would have made it.
At what age do you prefer?
30, 32. Anything after 35 is becoming a little bit late. So we just have to be in our equation. We need to start thinking about. And you know, somewhere again in Africa, one of the problems that we have is that we don't know anything about it. We don't even want to know about health. We just think it's doctor's problem. So the doctor will come to you, so you must solve all my problems. And I say, sometimes the problem you bring to me is that like the way you want me to solve your problem is like You buy a car, ordinary car, and you take it to the beach. It's a tear rubber. You say you want to live. But if you have a 4x4, even if it's 10 years old, it will get you where to live. So if you are using technology wrongly, you're not going to get the right answer. People just come and they don't even know what that technology can do and what it cannot do. So I think it's one of the things we need to start trying to let people understand. What are the yes, it is possible, technology is possible, but it also has limitations. So what are the limitations of this technology? Especially in healthcare, people don't just they think it's like home. No, it's not. There's even phone has its own basic rule. If you go and take your cell phone and decide that you want to dip it into water, if it's not made for that, well, when you bring it out, so we need to understand what technology can deliver and what it cannot deliver. I think that's so they should make the right decisions and know what is available to them at every point in time. You know, not that when you're 45, that's when you now say you want to come and use your head. Probably late. So ideal body weight, um, smoking to the minimum, alcohol to the minimum, if possible, avoid recreational drugs. Yeah, but it's beginning to sound like going to church. I know, at that point, it can be boring. But what I tell people is that it depends on what you want. It's not like you are in school. You know you must study to pass exam. Whether you like to study or you don't like, or except if you want to go and pay for something and something can happen to you in the process like that. So every stage of your life, there's some rules that you need to abide with. So for reproduction also, there are rules that you need to abide with. It's not everybody who will just sleep with a woman and she will get pregnant. So it's not. And we must live with that fact. We must also try to even make sure that we belong to that group, like the choices that we make.
How about the men? What's your advice to
Men,
for the men? Yes.
the men, they're the same, isn't it? Lifestyle is the biggest problem. Men especially, men are the ones. I see some very young men who are like this, and they are playing with fertility. The same person you see, they will take a bottle of rum and go it down and say, well, I'm waiting for you. When you finish, come and see me.
Is that to say obesity has an effect on
Of
infertility?
course. For both men and women, obesity is one of the lifestyle factors. And the older you become, the more you realize that we are what we eat. I think that's one lesson I am learning now, that you are what you eat. So you must, you can cheat once in a while, but there's no two ways about life. There's some things that you just have to, if you want to enjoy good health, there's some things you must keep up, and there's some things. And diet is probably one of the most important.
Yes, sir. I was also going to ask about looking at the efforts that you put into trying to achieve all of this. What has kept you going? Because I can imagine doing the same thing day in, day out, year in, year out, and all
I'm
of
not
that.
doing the same thing year out.
Well, I guess everything you're doing is around.
That's to you. That's to you now. Every day I have new challenges.
Okay.
Okay, like this fabric thing that I'm typing.
Okay.
It's completely different. Okay. Look, the industry we are, it's a young industry. Fertility is a very young industry. So there changes. And those are some of the things that you need to keep abreast of. To know, this one. And apart from it that being new again, it's an industry. It's like the food industry, not food, diet.
Okay.
Some people will say if you drink water, this one, you lose weight. Some people will say no. You know why it's difficult is that because it's difficult for you to do, unlike look at this vaccine now.
Yeah.
In 9 months, they're able to get a vaccine. Okay, because you can do control, you can do, but in reproduction, you can't do control. Do you understand? For example, one of the greatest problems we have is implantation. We know how to get fertilization. We can get 75% fertilization rate. But implantation is still 25%. Why? Because you can't go to the uterus and go and dig up what you have put there. so, so we have limitations also. So it's some things will come out and we say, oh, this is the clincher. It's going to increase your success rate by 50%. After 2 years, sorry, it doesn't work. So there are always new things. It depends on how much of your time you want to dedicate to it. I know many people don't have time in Nigeria because for whatever reason, either they are doing other things. That's what I tell people. The only thing I know how to do is to be a doctor. I don't do contract. I don't do anything. I'm a doctor.
So how come you're not distracted?
Because focus is the most important thing that somebody should have. I'm sure you are focused. That's why you stayed here. Why have you not left? Yeah, I'm sure people will have given you all kinds of ideas. But focus is the most important thing that a man should have. That's what will get you through when things are tough. So for me, I want people to bring this up to me. The only thing I know how to do is to be a doctor. It does not mean I have to give injection, but give me anything in medicine. I can understand what you're talking about. I didn't invest in anything that is not medical. No, because I must be able to understand what you're explaining to me. So I think that's for me. And there's so many obstacles in our way that we need to overcome in a country like Nigeria. So there's always one challenge or the other. Some of them are mundane, some of them are self-inflicted, by so many things. You wake up today and the NEPA will blow your incubator. So yeah, there's always something new in Nigeria. But seriously, if you want to excel in anything, any endeavor of life, focus is very important. Jack of all trades, they normally don't succeed.
Let's talk about IVF, sir.
So before you go to IVF, has there been a time on the job that you are disappointed for whatsoever reason, especially since you set up multiple projects?
When we first started, we were in BGC. The first maybe 30 treatments, no pregnancy. I locked myself up one day in BGC. We had a staff. So everybody went to my step. And I was asking myself so many difficult questions. Are you sure? Because I remember some people when I said I wanted, I was working in that hospital and I had quite a number of patients. The normal delivery. Everybody had known me in Apapa area. So it was, people thought I was going to set up a clinic in Apapa or something like that. But I left to go and do something different. So I started asking myself, are you sure this is? And I remember one of my bosses, the first time he came to BBC to see me, said, Doctor, there is either you are mad or you need business. But I know you are not mad. The man is dead now. And so, because he looked at me and said, how can somebody decide that this is all he's just going to do? But I made up my mind that was all I was going to do. So, but that period, I started having a rethink. That, are you sure you're not going to put some normal obstetrics and gynecology into this thing? But I think just immediately after that, things just started happening after that again. And then we saw where there was a mistake we were making. We now saw where it was. So that was just that open. I think that was the only time that I ever thought about going back. But since then, no. If anything comes, we'll solve it.
Mhm.
Let's talk about IVF. Sorry, just a minute. At what stage is at what stage are we now in the progress of IVF and helping um, to resolve infertility? Have we made giant strides or we're still?
Yeah, I think we have. I think we have. What everybody in the world, well, that we're probably focused on is how to improve success rate.
Okay.
And that's worldwide. In the UK released the health figures for 2018, July last July when they released. Their baby take home rate was 28% generally, 23% generally. The best was under 35, which was 31%. So, and if we look at what we are doing is also in that direction. So, I think we're not doing badly at all with that. But it's a worldwide thing to see how we can improve the success rate of ideas. So, yeah, I think we're not really doing badly at all. The only problem that we also probably want is for more people to have access to ideas. Money. Cost is still an issue. When people talk about this cost, I look at it from two different directions. I'm not asking that the cost comes down, but I'm looking at how can we make it more accessible to either insurance or something like that. Why I said I'm not talking about the cost coming down is because it will still be based on the dollar. The naira cannot be losing value and we expect anything that is based on dollar to do that. So that we need to know where to focus our prayers, because if the dollar is becoming 500, 600, and there is no way that but if we have, for example, the insurance companies that can take it on or something like that, so it becomes part of health insurance, maybe it's more accessible to many more people.
Is Nordica looking at anything in that direction? Health insurance also.
Nordica cannot do that. It's for insurance companies. If we see people who we are favorably disposed to it, we see people who want to do it, but we cannot go into that. It's a different business entirely.
The last one, in the spirit of the season, Valentine season, I would like you to tell us a bit about you and Madam. How did you hit it off?
Okay. Okay. It was the thing is that it was during my youth corps
In Ibadan.
in Ibadan, Ajayi. I went to this, boys must be boys. I was looking at that for where I could do local, okay, where I could look for a place where they won't need a doctor, so I could have time to be doing my local. So because I had a local, I was doing
Sorry?
a local. That's like private practice.
Okay.
So I secured a hospital where I was going regularly. So the man said, if you can come in the morning, I will double your double. Okay, fine. So let me go and look for somewhere where is a nursing station and they won't need me. So I went to BCS, the hospital, the clinic. And then so I went there the first day and I met this old woman and she said, oh, yeah, they want a doctor. I saw that if I go there, I'll be disturbing them. So I wanted to go there too, so that they wouldn't miss me when I don't come. So the next time I came, I now met this beautiful woman, girl. She was the girl. Okay, good. Nice to come here. So that was how I tried, but now the only thing I achieved was meeting her in that place because that almost made me, is it story for another day, it almost made me to do NYC for 2 years. So I met her there, but I had to run away from there. They posted me there, but I had to run away because it caused a lot of problems. And so that was how we met. what happened was I said, okay, I was looking for a house because I was not in Ibadan. So she offered to help me to see, and one thing led to the other. So she's been stuck with me ever since then.
What are the striking things you saw that?
What are the striking things? I think there were some, you know, this thing about, I don't know about, when I tell, now when my son asked me the same question, that, how did you know when you saw your thing? Like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but when I saw, I knew that was the woman I was going to marry. So, how I still cannot explain, but I think that's how my own life has been all along, you know. I just have to say, okay, this is the woman I'm going to marry. But I had a very strong relationship just there before then, so I had to quickly end that one. And yeah, so since then, yeah, I think actually it's been also great. I think
How many years of that?
we are going to be 33.
But you seem to have a lot of things in common. I mean, I realize that you're both stylish, you do a lot of things together. I'm wondering how did all of that develop?
How did it develop? Don't tell her, Sha. Yeah, seriously, I don't know, but I think we seem to have a lot in common without realizing it, even at the initial stage. But I think over time, this thing just, when you start, the man say things will not feel around share just so I think it just happened that the two of us have the same kind of outlook to life. Oh, not in all parts. So she's the outgoing type. Oh, she's me.
So how did you not find
A balance.
a balance?
When she does her own things, I'll let her do. When I do my own things, I think we just understood each other that look, but we had lines that we will not cross. So I think it's just God is just because seriously, when I look at some, we make fun of each other sometimes. Come, I hear a rumor that we are 32 years married. How did it happen? Because we don't. I don't talk so much, but I'm not an easy person, so I know that myself. So, but she likes talking, and I don't know, but it's just it's just every day. Not that we don't have we used to have our own issues. At least the first 7 years were particularly struggling because I was still on board. I was go out and do. But after a while, I just started asking myself so many questions. Like, what is all this? What are you looking for? The only thing you get is trouble. So I don't know. And then the children started coming in. You start telling yourself that there's some things you don't want your children to see you do. So, well, I think we're just lucky. It's part of we're just lucky. Yeah. So, and we had some, and we still have some very good friends. We can, we can talk. We have a couple that they can come to our house. We can go to their house. When things are really very bad, we can talk to each other and say, you must not do that. That's not good. And we still do that even now. But of course the frequency has reduced drastically.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. But before we round off, I'd like to ask this burning question in my heart. There have been issues with DNA lately, especially because of the fact that infidelity has been on the rise and all.
It's not been on the rise. Infidelity ti wà pẹ̀lú wa tipẹ́tipẹ́ now. Let me tell you a story. Okay, I like DNA. You know, part of the things that I've had interest in genetics for quite a while. So actually, I was supposed to go and do something last year in Hong Kong, a course on genetics for doctors. I like genetics a lot because it's intriguing to me. But one thing, the story I want to tell you is that there was a documentary I saw about birds. There's a particular bird, I've forgotten the name of the bird. The price for infidelity in that group of birds is that the male will kill the female if she has sex with another male. Instant death. They know. They now did the DNA of the children of these birds. Group of birds, 40% will not belong to the fathers. But so infidelity. Infidelity to what? Don't bother yourself. You can. I don't think we can stop it. I think there's something about human beings that it's crazy. It's just crazy. How can you have 3 children for a man? The 3 are not his own. And you wake up every morning and you see that man, I took a daddy. But it's only a man who wants to kill himself that will be bothering himself with that now. What you don't do does not kill you, especially with DNA. I will not do any DNA for my children, seriously, unless there is. Look, when I was in UC, something happened. There was a man, a professor, whose daughter was in the medical school. And then she was ill. And then they saw that she was pale and giving up. This medical student was on admission. And then they did tests and giving up and saw that she was immunizing. How can she be? Anyway, finally somebody did the genotype. The professor is his wife is yes. SS medical student. So the man actually was weeping. Oh no. So there's some things that don't know. It's better left.
Alone.
One old man came to me one time. That's why I don't do DNA technology. He came to me while we were in VGC. My son, you have to help me out too. You know me in the society. A lè tọ́jú ọmọ àlè ṣùgbọ́n a gbọ́dọ̀ fi egúnlẹ̀ fọmọ àlè. He wants to do DNA for his children. It can't be helped. Not because it's difficult, because what we then. So there's a lab in Nigeria. All you just needed to do, take the blood sample, put it in a blotting paper, send it to South Africa, they will analyze it and do it. Well, that means I have to go to court. I'm not going to any court with anybody. See, if and that's the thing with women. They say if you how did they say this? If a woman is such that you give her a seed, it becomes a baby. Whatever you give a woman, she will multiply it for you. If you give her trouble, she will multiply that trouble for you. So if you sow wind with a woman, you will reap wind. So I'm not calling with anyone. I mean, the different ones that also, but the man most of the time will see signs of such people now. So, but sometimes you never can even tell. Don't know where to go. Oh no, you won't make that. No, obviously. don't let me, because the man might read is very much alive now. Very much alive. He's a young man. Very much alive. None. None. So I think don't look for trouble when trouble does not look for you. But DNA, if anybody wants to do it, it's free to do it, but you must be ready for the result. No, infidelity has always been. Another doctor, the two of them are doctors. One is the senior. They are doing residency program in the same hospital. This man, let's say Sheye is my senior girl. He will put me on night duty. Not knowing that I was sleeping with my wife. And they are family friends. Until one of the children became sick too. Once she test, genotype city. So this thing has always been with us. It's always been with us. That's one of the things that technology is making for us to see now. And that's what I keep telling people. It's going to become even much easier because you don't need blood anymore. You don't need I don't even need to take your hair sample anymore. Toothbrush, your balloon will move. Actually, DNA there. So it's becoming, but DNA, you like it.